Welcome to Stampede Your Business. Stampede!
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 Stampede your business!
Meow.
Welcome to the show, Stampede Your Business. What a show today. What are we doing today? What are we talking about today, Brett?
So first of all, before we go into today's topic, I just want to introduce our guest. We've not had him on the show yet. Yeah, we should do that. This is Brett Rich and Bobby Glenn James in the house with Ryan Pilkington.
Ryan Pilkington in the house.
The amazing graphics artist Ryan Pilkington that creates all of our sales sites actually right
Graphic,
now.
everything. Ryan is doing everything graphically, creatively, magical for Stampede Digital
He is graphically delicious.
Whoa, that was awesome. Graphically delicious. Oh, you've got to use that as a tagline.
delicious.
Graphically delicious.
Wow.
Thank you.
That was
I
good.
appreciate it. You guys could keep going.
Right on the spot.
Yeah.
Keep
Off
going
the cuff,
with how
man.
awesome I am. I
Ryan,
like that.
thanks for taking it on, being on the show. And,
You bet.
And we're going to get down to business, and we're going to talk about, what
good
are
to
we
be
talking
here.
about?
So today we're going to be talking about designing and creating systems. So if as you recall, the second part, we're in part 2 of Stampede Your Business. And part 2 is all about automating your business. So when you want...
Our last episode was just describing what part 2 was, right?
Exactly. So
Now
we spent
we're
a lot of time
digging in the
describing
dirt.
that stuff.
This is
Yep.
this first piece of part 2.
This is the first line of part 2. Here we go.
First line.
Get that thing going. All right.
That was cool. Did you hear that? He was rumming. Rumming.
I brought my sound machines, but I don't know if I could use them.
You don't know if you can use your sound machine.
Well, you're welcome to use them, but they don't compete.
They don't
Yeah,
compete.
they don't get
Can't
beat.
compete with
Can't compete.
Stampede Digital Systems. Stampede Your Business.
Stampede your business. All right, so part 1 was all about creating the business. Part 2 is all about getting that business to run without you. And so designing and creating systems is essential to getting that business to work without you.
We've touched base on this a few times, and we've talked about it last week. This is the key for this to not be you.
This is the linchpin.
Your business,
I mean,
your business should not be you.
Totally.
It should be able to run without you.
Exactly.
That is success in business when you're not working. Because some people say, yeah, I've owned my own business. I work 60, 80 hours a week. Guys, that's not success.
that's not owning your business.
No.
That's owning a job.
Yes, exactly.
And that's great if that's what you're after. I mean,
that's what you
we're
wanna
not
do.
knocking anybody. So go ahead and keep doing your awesome fun, whatever.
I have a story.
You have a story?
A story.
Well, hey,
story
let's-
time. Story time.
Let's hear a story.
So, no, just kidding. So, I'll take you back like 5 years ago. I was maybe more than that. And I was going to a lot of entrepreneur classrooms and entrepreneur launch pad that I met Bobby with. And I actually went to the Kaysville one because ELP here was down for some reason. I don't know why. And the topic
Bobby was sick.
Yeah. They were like, it's just not the same without Bob. So,
Sure.
anyways, they were talking about systems. So here I am, a graphic designer, just wanted to be business dude, and they're talking about systems, and I fell asleep. I was like, this is the most boring stuff on the planet. What are they talking about? And it didn't dawn on me till many years later how vital and how important systems are. I should have stayed awake.
And well, you just needed to be somewhere where they didn't make it boring.
That's right.
Yeah.
Systems don't have to be boring.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
They were a little boring.
They don't have to be boring.
But they
was
can
a-
be.
it was a
and
boring
we don't want-
slideshow.
Yeah, we don't have to. We just
Well,
don't.
yeah.
I mean, if it was Bobby running the show, it would have been a lot different.
I would have been awake. That's right.
That's right. I'd have yelled at you if you fell asleep.
So the rest of you out there listening, wake up!
Nice.
Whoa! I think he clipped the mic on that one.
clipped
I
that
think
one.
Pretty sure that was a clip mic. My ears hurt now. Perfect. So, systems, insanely important. We're going to talk about it now. We're going to talk about what kind, what type, how, all that good stuff, right?
Yeah, we're gonna get into the nuts and bolts of systems, and
Get
that'll
our-
be for
all
the
our
next few
2 cents.
episodes. So yeah, we've got a lot to cover on systems.
And how we're using it in Stampede digital
Absolutely,
systems.
because that's exactly what Stampede Your Business is all about. We're
Yep.
using Stampede digital systems. Hey, how about that?
Aha!
Da-dun-dun.
Aha! Practice what you preach, people.
That's right. Oh yeah. And we're using Stampede Digital Systems as the example for everything that we talk about and do here on the show. So, the first bullet point here that we want to talk about is how systems run the business. So, if you set up your system right, the system's what's going to run the business, and then the people run the systems. So. We talked about, I think, on the last show.
Everybody understand that because the way you said that, I'm hoping that the listeners get what we're saying here. The system runs the business. The people run the system. What's that saying is if you break away from the systems and let the people do whatever they want, you have failures. You have breaks. You have mess up. You have a lot
and
more
they're
problems.
Not traceable failures. I mean,
Exactly.
failures are great. We don't mind failures at all
if we can figure out
if
metrics
we can learn from them.
Yeah.
But if we have non-traceable failures, then that's worthless. It's pointless to fail without purpose.
Right. Yeah. And
So-
those systems can assist us with that to see what is and isn't working.
Oh yeah, the systems
And not just
make
guessing.
that possible.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so you create your system to run the business. So imagine you're working in your business and you're doing all the stuff that you need to do, and you are right now, before you created the system, you are the business, right? You want to separate yourself from the business. The first thing that you got to do is you got to write down everything that you're doing. You got to write down your tasks. You got to write down step by step what's going on. You need not just checklists, but information on where to find information, how to do stuff, and as you're working your business, you are creating your systems so that someone could walk in and essentially be you.
Yep.
So then you get people, not you, but people, other people, to run those systems that you created based off of what you do. And that's how your business runs. So the system actually becomes a solution for everything.
Yep.
When customers come in and they say, I had a problem with da-da-da-da-da, you say, okay, well, let me check the system. And out comes the answer.
You know, that's cool too, because we talk about, I've kind of been pushing this workflow thing with Stampede, and I think setting an expectation with a client when you go in and you say, here is what's going to happen when you become a client. These are the pieces and parts that's going to happen as a potential client. I love that.
Yeah.
I love seeing what we're going to do. That just seems so professional, and it kind of makes me not worried about doing business with you when I see a workflow like that.
Well, you know what I love about that is when you create the solution before the problem even exists, then you can always go back and say, see, we have a solution here. This is how we're doing things. Client comes in and says, well, it's not done in time. Well, we told you when
Here's
it
the
was going to be
steps right
done,
here. Yep.
and we haven't reached that point yet. So we're going to get there, but you agreed to this. Is this not the date that you agreed to? And at that point, what can they say?
Yeah.
They can ask for you to speed up, but they can't say it's not enough.
Right.
And
You've
so
set the
you've set the
expectation with the systems.
But if you don't have the system, you walk in and you say, okay, we're going to create this website. It's going to be awesome. Let's talk about what you want to do. Okay, and we walk out and some things get missed and it doesn't all get set. And then they come back and they say, it's not happening fast enough. And you say, oh, dude, I'm sorry.
And we've recently
I suck.
just had that happen and have pretty much lost a client because of that. Because we didn't follow our own system.
Yeah.
So it's a big learning lesson. Big learning lesson for us. So
Well, and I love that we can share a fail on this podcast, because that's exactly what this is all about.
Absolutely.
Is how we're learning to deal with and do the things that we're teaching, because it's a learning process for every business. And even if you've got it all down in one business, when you start to try to create another business, you may be better at transitioning than otherwise.
Still got to follow those
You
pieces
still
and
have to
parts.
learn it and figure out how that works with that business.
Yeah.
With
Yep.
Every business is
with the
different.
system that you've guys set up with the way that you help me map out a website with a client, compared to what I just recently went through, it was like throwing darts in the dark.
Yep.
I was like, up, okay, crap.
And you don't know what the client wants or doesn't want, and you're just kind of running. Yeah, the expectation and follow. It is so key. This is a huge, like you said, you just said a linchpin a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
This piece, if you don't have systems in place, you're not going to be as successful as you could be, and you will be running the business constantly yourself.
You'll never walk away from it.
And you'll break stuff.
Over your head. So the system integrates all the elements that are required to make the business work. And we kind of touched on that already.
Yep.
But the whole point of the system is that you've got a business and it has to happen. But if you make it so it happens in a certain way, then the business will always work. And again, if it doesn't work, then you can go into the system
Tweak.
and say, hey, what's wrong with this? And fix it.
Pivot.
That's right.
Yeah, and you can't do that without having a system to start with to fix. When it's willy-nilly, you'll just be running around on a treadmill, wondering why you're not getting places.
Exactly. Now, I want to say something really quickly about the systems versus human action, because humans aren't robots. We're not hiring robots to replace ourselves. We're hiring humans to replace ourselves. In some cases, maybe robots. I mean, hopefully at some point you can capitalize on that a little bit. But we're
AI is getting better. every
AI
day.
is getting better every day. And one of these days, I'm going to have a robot that does everything I ask it to. Until then,
Or
you're
stuff that
hiring
you don't
people.
ask it to. Hey, I'm going to clean your feet for you.
Thank you.
Wow, I didn't ask for that. That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Sorry, went off track.
So when you have people following the systems, they're going to make mistakes. They're going to follow errors, and they might do things a little bit better than the system, and that's okay too. But you can learn from that, because if they're going off the system and doing something a little different, because you have
And
the
they have a
system in
reason
place,
for that.
right?
Yes.
Because you have a system in place, you can expect them to explain why they left the system, and that's powerful feedback. Systems and feedback go hand in hand. Feedback is everything when trying to run a business. Without feedback, you don't have customers. Without feedback, you don't have a product. Without feedback, you are nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I love this last piece, says bring life into the business. To me, that means giving the business a personality of its own. Those processes, the systems, give the business a personality of its own, like its own life,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, what are you thinking, Ryan?
I come from a design kind of aspect, and it's a user experience almost. When I think of brings life into the business, when you walk into like a Chick-fil-A versus Einstein's Bagel, there's a different system that they use, the way they get you into the store, how you order.
It's its own life, its own brand, its own
System.
Yeah, and your system becomes your brand.
yeah.
I mean, really, it does. But another way that the system brings life into the business is when you've got a checklist to follow, people don't have to figure out what to do next. So while they're busy running the system, they can still be more human.
Yeah, Subway. You ever seen what they do with Subway in the behind the scenes? They have like this whole system. And if it goes out of whack, man, that's not good. You're gonna mess up the sandwich.
Oh, I was watching Hot Ones the other day. You guys know Hot
Oh,
Ones?
yeah.
I love Hot Ones. The lady, and I can't remember the actress's name. I love her. She is so cool. She's the lady that plays Harley Quinn in the
Oh, yeah.
Bird of Prey. That girl. She worked at Subway, and she it was an art form for her. She said she can't go eat at Subway anymore because nobody takes it as serious as she did when she was making sandwiches. I saw, wow, that's so cool.
I worked at Hoagie Yogi, and for me it was the same way. I had more fun when I was being
Following
artistic. I don't know. I didn't follow their system.
Warning!
But I was entertaining people as I was creating the sandwiches. But
I can see that about you.
But because they had the system, I
You had a
followed the
foundation.
system.
You had a foundation.
But I wasn't. For me, I wasn't saying the system itself was the art form. I was the art form because I could follow a system.
bring
is
life-
what I
And
was trying to
you
say.
could have
Yeah.
fun with it because the system let you do what needed to be done while you could have fun with
Exactly.
it. With
So
the
when
customers.
people ask for a mustard or ranch, I'd flip it up in the air and spin it and
the cocktail the
Yeah,
sandwiches.
exactly. That's what I did, and that's where I got it from. Was cocktail.
That's so
I got the idea from cocktail.
Did you
Tom
wear the
Cruise
sunglasses?
right here
You got to
now.
wear the sunglasses, man.
Tom
Well,
Cruise.
I didn't sunglasses, but
Yeah. Couldn't see them make the sandwiches.
well, you couldn't see it when you threw it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So
That's cool. That's cool.
systems are powerful.
Yeah.
It's important to create
and it
systems.
gives a life to the business, and it connects with the brand. It also sets the culture. The culture for employees, like you, that culture was set that gave you the leeway to have fun. That's what's cool about Southwest Airlines too. They have a little playful culture where it's so funny when the pilot says something funny or goofy, or the flight attendant says something crazy like, I don't know. They always say something goofy. It's fun. They give them the leeway. That culture is set to do that. It's a part of the process to have fun.
Yeah, it makes it enjoyable for all the flyers.
And you
doesn't
don't have to
have to
think
be
about
boring.
all of the different stuff because the systems are in place. You have the leeway to do that.
Yep.
Very cool. Okay, I think we've hammered it. You need a system.
You need a system.
We
So-
need to ask
so
you
what
some
do what do you got to
questions.
do? Well, first you need to ask yourself, how do you build your system? How do you build yours? I mean, what are your systems? What systems are you making? So at Stampede, we have some systems that we've already created. Ryan mentioned the blueprint, which is in and of itself a system
Absolutely.
for guiding the designer himself down a path of creating this awesome sales tool, right? But even beyond that, Ryan's got his system for creating the sales tools, and once we've done so many of these as a sales site, we can systematize that even further. So we've got a team in India that's just waiting. They're chomping at the bit, just waiting for us to have
Send them over the system.
to have them,
the work.
to have the work for them to do this rapid pace.
I'm taking notes as I'm doing it too. Like, if there's a way to speed it up,
Automate.
automate.
Do things. And that's what we're doing. But for every business, you have to sit down and do that and figure out how things work. And you should be writing it down. You should be building an actual process because maybe you've been doing this a long time and I just know how to do it. Guys, you'll just keep doing it if you don't write it down and get it so you can teach somebody else.
Well, and what I was going to say about the team in India, they're not designers.
Right.
They're very technical. It's a very technical team, and so what's really cool about this is that we've got our designer Ryan, who is creating awesomeness in design with our sales sites. Awesomeness in design.
Nice. That's me. That's all me.
That's right.
And then what we're going to be able to do is after we've had enough of these under our belt, we can see what people are really shooting for, what it's starting to look like. We can start creating templates with the design power that we have, and send those templates out to India. So we've got our $500 site, which eventually will be all template based. And that's already been something we've been talking about. We've been planning on it for months and months, because that's the system that we're working towards. And then there's the premium sites, and those eventually will also have a template base, but they won't be template based. And what I mean by that is
we start somewhere.
We get to send the data out to our team in India. They create it with the templates, and then it comes back to the designer, saving Ryan hours of time.
Right. Yes. And then he puts the magic into it.
Exactly.
And the cell site, they should with the cell site, they should already be getting. They bring something to the table already. The client.
Oh yeah.
What were we gonna say, Ryan?
You guys are awesome.
Thank you very much.
I mean, for the past year, you guys have been tinkering and working, and I came aboard a little bit late, so see what you guys have been creating and making it so that I could come in and run with it. So, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, we're excited for liftoff.
Well, in order to create your system, you have to have a vision of what you want it to look like.
And it does take time, and it does take work, folks. You don't create your own business and live the good life easy breezy. This takes work, especially this stuff. People ask me all the time, Bobby, what do? You don't hardly do anything. Well, I worked 60 and 80 hours a week for several years, so I could not do very much right now. And it's because of the systems and, of course, hiring great people and understanding how all the pieces work that have given me the ability to do lots of other things. People say, how come there's like 4 of you? Well, how do you run around? I don't. There's systems in place that work for me. And it's beautiful.
I always tease you. Yeah. You've cloned yourself, Bobby.
Yeah, that's what I've been wanting to do. I want to clone myself.
It's fun. You can clone yourself with systems.
With systems.
You put systems in place that do the work for you.
Yep. Absolutely.
Cool. How do you build? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's your
How
turn.
do you build a business that works predictably, effortlessly, and profitably each and every day?
What does that look like? I mean, for you listener out there, what does that look like? Your business. Think about your business right now. If you're running a business, if you just have a business idea and you're listening to this because you think you will one day, what does that look like? Your business that works predictably, effortlessly, and profitably each and every day.
I remember I can't remember if I read this or somebody told me this, but they said that the secret to success is you making money while you're sleeping. And if you have these pieces and parts and all this stuff, that's what you want. You want the company to run without you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how do you figure out how to be predictably, effortlessly profitable?
You can start with E-Myth on page 96.
Yeah, exactly. You could start with E-Myth on page 96.
That's right. So
footnotes. Sorry.
So how do you build a business that works without you?
Right along with that. Exactly.
Yes.
How do you build a business that works without you?
That is the key to success.
Because you can't make money while you're sleeping if it won't work without you.
Yep.
So and when you are able to do that, how do you get to free yourself from your business to live a fuller life?
Because that is really the dream.
That's the American dream.
It's cool. And I mean, I like to work. I love what I do. I really do. I love all the things that I do, all the little pieces and parts that I have. But if I had to like focus and do this long drawn, there's so many people in the world that get up every day hating getting up and going to work. Yeah. They hate it. And that's sad because you shouldn't have to do that. You should enjoy what you do.
You should. Absolutely.
And if you build systems and stuff to the point where it works, then you can make it better. You can tweak and do the really cool stuff to make it better and fun.
Yeah, I have another story.
Well, Ryan, story is Ryan's here for the stories.
Yeah,
tell us the story.
So my dad was a bricklayer, 5th generation of bricklayer, and they just did all the grunt work. And I went out there with him, and my hat's off to my dad. He worked really hard. He had the opportunity to be a contractor and not the grunt worker, not the bricklayer. He didn't take it. And I always look back to that moment where if he would have ventured out, been a little bit brave, and been the contractor, he would have been able to sit back and manage people and not be actually out there in the hot sun every day. And it really killed him at the end of his life. Like, he just couldn't move anymore. So right now, just in my business, I'm trying to think, okay, when things get going, I need a better system so that I can learn from my dad and not be in this horrible mess and go, what am I doing?
Yeah. Speaking of dads, my dad, he's a cabinet installer. He used to build his own cabinets, but now he does installing, and he's done that for decades now. And he's probably the best, honestly, in Utah. He has people from other cabinet stores hire him to do their own cabinets because they wouldn't hire their own people. That's how good my dad is. Okay. But he's always told me my entire life, he's always told me, don't work with your body, work with your brain, because your body will eventually give out and your brain will last a lot longer.
Yeah. Great advice.
So work with your brain and start a business, create a system.
So it says,
awesome.
how do you free your, how does that go? Sorry, I'm reading the bullet point. I
need to fix that. That's really bad grammar.
How do you get free?
How do you get free of your business?
To live a fuller life? How do you get free of your business to live a fuller life? Don't
That's
read
supposed to be do. That's supposed to be do, Ryan.
Okay,
read between the lines.
Do dum do. Do it.
Yeah,
Just thought I'd do it. Yeah,
when I read that, I just thought of my dad. Fuller life.
Yeah, have a fuller life.
Enjoy life. But truthfully, if you enjoy life doing that, there are people that are just ants. They're worker ants, and they love it. They love going to work every day. They don't want to worry about trying to build a business. That's great. This show and who we are is for the other people, the wackos that want to build a business, the wackos that want to take the world on their shoulders and create something and change the world. We're those weirdos that are going to have fun trying to create something.
And yet, I'll tell you though, if you are a worker bee, if you are an ant, and you want more, you can still partner up with someone that wants to run the business, and you can work the business.
Yep.
And you can create some awesome opportunities for yourself as well that way.
Most of the greats didn't do it on their own, and they had worker bees. I mean, Walt Disney's brother, Troy Disney, Troy. Anyway, his brother was the finance guy. His brother was the worker bee. And he would tell Walt all the time, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. And he was always, figuring out the numbers and doing this. And Walt would always just go, no, we're doing it. This is what we're doing. You got to figure it out, man. You got to figure out how to make it work.
That's right. So
and Steve Wozniak with Steve Jobs and Apple.
Personality-wise, you've got to find someone that matches. I mean, even in my dad's story, he started out with his own business when he was building his own cabinets, and his business partner, they both got hired by the same employer, and they were both offered a chance to work in management, and the business partner took the job because that was his pot of tea, and my dad decided not to. He didn't want to become a manager because he loved building cabinets and installing them and being on the site, and that was just him, and that's why he's the best in Utah, by the way.
That's right. Yeah. So cool. Work on your business. We talk about that ELP all the time. Why do we harp on this work on your business so much? What does it mean? First off, does everybody understand? Work in your business means you're doing the work. When you're working in your business, there's something that has to be done, like make the cabinets. Go make the cabinets. That's working in your business. Mm-hmm. What is working on your business? Because working on your business is the key to moving forward and doing more.
Yeah, so working on your business is recognizing the stuff that you do every day and making it better. Making it better in various different ways. You could make it better by saying, if I just did this a little bit differently here, then it would be more efficient. Or you can make it better by saying, if I just understood my customers for a minute, then maybe I could find more of them faster. But when it comes to creating systems, making it better means creating something that is consistent, duplicatable, and teachable so that you can replace yourself.
So I know a lot of guys and gals that have a business. They're like, hey, I'm busy. I'm working a ton. I don't have time to sit down and write this system thing out. It's a waste of time for me.
You'll never have time to sit down and write this stuff out.
If you don't figure out a way to do it, you will always be like that.
And you won't have time for vacation. You won't have time for anything else either.
That's right.
So stay in your rut. Be happy there, because you're going to be there for a really long time.
Yeah. Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted to point out, because when you hear that so much, I'm sorry, I don't have time to do this stuff. Well, then it's going to be a hard row to hoe, just so you know.
You might like it there. Maybe you don't want to.
Well, if you read E-Myth, the pie lady, she didn't like it. She
got to the point where she was sick of her business because the business was consuming her. What she really loved was baking pies. And that's what happens with a lot of business owners is you have a passion, you've got something that you're so excited about that you love doing, and you just want to do that all the time. And you want to make a little bit more money doing it. So then you get caught up in the business, and the business drains you because you're not understanding your business as a system.
Yep.
So by creating the system, it frees you up to do what you love, so that you can hand off the stuff that you don't love, and be free to create.
Yep. And we've got a few questions before we wrap up. Questions that you should ask yourself as a working on your business. What are the questions?
Ryan Pilkington, give us one of those questions.
How can I get my business to work, but without me?
You should be thinking that way.
How can I get my people to work, but without my constant interference?
Ooh, I love that it says that, because that's the what do they call them? The
distractors.
No, the manager that is under your thumb.
Jerk.
What's the word?
Thumbtack.
No, they're called micromanagers. Boom. Micromanagers. Oh my gosh. I did that back in the day when I first started hiring employees, and I worked my butt off twice as much with employees than when I didn't have employees. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's supposed to be easier with employees, and it was horrible, but it was because I didn't trust them. I didn't think anybody could do it as good as me. And when I let go and realized, oh my gosh, other people actually can do things better than me, it was so freeing.
You hire the right people.
Hire the right people. So big. Right. What's the last question you should ask?
How can I systematize my business in such a way that it can be replicated 5,000 times, such that the 5,000th unit runs as smoothly as the first?
If you can do this, if you can do that, you've got $1 million plus business.
Easy.
That is so powerful.
Assuming that you created it correctly and you've got a valuable product.
But there's that. There is that part.
There's always the other stuff.
Yeah. Well, this is. I think this is. What do you think about this first piece of part 2, creating a system? I think we've nailed it. That hey, it's important. We got to do it. We're practicing that in Stampede Digital Systems. We're doing any last words for you guys?
It's very important.
Deep.
Do it.
It's a lot. It is a lot of work, but do your research. Go through the E-Myth and see what's going to make your life a little bit easier. If you're coming home at like 10 o'clock at night and you're beat, and you might want to reflect back on your life going, what could I do to make my day easier?
You know, the thing about creating systems is that it's actually a lot easier than you think it is. Because you're doing the same stuff over and over and over again. You already know what you're doing.
The first time might be a little harder,
sure.
but man, once you do that first one, it can make your life 10,000 times easier.
If you're in the trenches right now and you are running a successful business and it's just not $1 million business because you can't get away from it, you already have systems in place. You just don't know what they are. It's all up in your head. And if you just write them down, it makes it so much easier, not only for you, because you don't have to keep it in your head anymore and it's not weighing on you, but you can also hand it off to someone else and get the assistance that you need to free your butt up so that you are...
Do you guys take questions from your
leader.
audience? I'm not sure.
Absolutely. We take questions from our audience. Oh, wait. Are you talking you as the audience?
Are you the audience?
No, I mean,
Oh, that's true. You know what? Maybe
audience.
we should start. We could do this live on Facebook or something,
We could.
and get some feedback.
Or you just, end with have a question email.
I like it. Well, I think we should
Sorry.
wrap up. This was super good.
I
It's
hijacked.
getting
It's great feedback, Ryan. Thank you.
it's getting a little long. We don't want systems to be boring. Ryan has taught us that. We
Yeah.
don't want systems to be
Have
boring.
fun with them. Have fun.
Have fun with them. Yes. If it's drudgery, then you maybe think about that because your system should be exciting for you and engaging for you. Or is it going to be for your potential clients or your employees for that matter?
All of the above.
Yeah.
All of the above.
All right, folks. Thank you for listening to Stampede Your Business. Stampede.
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 Stampede your business.
Yeehaw.